I have so many vivid memories of social situations that all follow a certain toxic pattern that kept occurring in my life all the time. And these situations are about a group conversation. Somebody introduces a certain topic in the conversation, then people have opinions on it, some people say jokes about it, and some people stay quiet. And I was obviously the one that was always quiet. But it's not like I didn't have opinions about this subject. I also had opinions, and I would also say my opinions all the time. But I would only say them in my mind because I was afraid to actually put them out there. And for example, after 10 minutes of the conversation going on, I would literally hype myself up and take the courage to go ahead and say my opinion as well, waiting for that perfect pocket of time where there is silence in the conversation and I was literally in a block start, waiting to be able to pop my sentence out there. And I would have such high expectations as well. I would literally hope that people would kind of cheer me up and be so excited that I said something. But if you zoom out, how does that conversation look like? How do I look like in that conversation? I look like an NPC. I don't have any reactions. So for them, I'm basically an NPC, right? I didn't participate whatsoever to that conversation, and then all of a sudden I take the courage to say something, and I have such high expectations that are obviously destroyed afterwards. And I end up shutting up even more. I end up living in my mind and overthinking even more. And if you're watching this, then I assume you went through similar situations as well. After going through my bit of inner work, I realized that this is basically a toxic belief, a detrimental self-image, saying that my opinion doesn't matter and that other people don't care about what I have to say. And I started working on that, and now it's much better. It's probably still a bit slightly there, and I can still feel it sometimes, but it's a lot better compared to what it was years ago. If I was able to do it, I'm sure you are able to do it as well. I'm 100% certain of that. You are able to do that. You just have to put in the work. So what does the work look like? The work starts with the inner work, with the inner realizations about yourself, with just acknowledging the fact that this is your opinion, your detrimental opinion about yourself, which is a fake opinion, by the way. And you only realize this by doing your inner process and asking yourself a lot of questions and tapping into your shadow and realizing all these negative ideas and beliefs you have about yourself. And after you do that, you have to go ahead in social situations and be aware of what your normal interactions are like. Don't try to change anything. The point is not to try to change. The point is to gather data. And you will probably realize after your first block of inner work that your beliefs are detrimental, that your beliefs are fake, that the fact that you believe that other people don't care about what you have to say or whatever your version of it might look like is a completely false belief that's not true anymore. Perhaps it was true for your younger self, but you are a completely different person now. And then from that point, go on, gather data from your normal social interactions and reflect on them even more. Reflect on them and use your previous realizations to justify and to draw conclusions out of your normal social situations. And there, you'll find some quite disturbing realizations and you'll probably be even angry. Like, that's so stupid. Why did I keep believing that? Why did I keep acting like that in such a stupid and senseless way? Once you understand yourself more, once you gathered all the data, made the analysis, and slightly convinced yourself at least that that's a problem, that you have to make a change, then you have to go ahead in the real world and start acting differently, obviously. But this is not going to be an easy process at all, because there is only one right way of engaging into this. And that's when you don't have that detrimental opinion anymore, where you completely disregard it. Because if you still keep holding on to that opinion, then it's going to rule you all the time. And when you are guided by that opinion, you have to take a lot of energy. You have to hype yourself up in order to be able to just say what you have to say, what you want to say. And you will have, again, high expectations, you will fear failure, you will fear judgment. All these things are signs of inauthenticity. So honestly, you need a lot of courage. You need a lot of courage to step into your authenticity, to disregard opinions completely, to disregard the possibility of judgments completely, and to just go ahead and put yourself out there. To act like a king, to be honest. To not care whatsoever about what others think of you. Just go ahead and say your opinions. And you did make some realizations about yourself. So now you have to convince yourself to rewire your brain through convincing yourself that that reality is fake, the reality you've been living in so far is completely fake. It's just a fake idea that younger you created and it just propagated on autopilot until now. Because look, if you still keep that detrimental belief in your mind, but you try to make a change, you will always interpret the negative feedback more than the positive feedback. Because every single piece of feedback from people has both a negative and a positive part. But when you are guided by that fear and by that detrimental reality you live in, the negative part is going to be so much preeminent. And the positive will almost be ignored. So prioritize stepping into who you really are, into your authenticity, and not caring about others' opinions anymore. Because that's the only way you'll be able to change your mind actually and to change your reality, to create a better one. Now you might think, but when will this stop? Like, when will my autopilot and my default version of socializing become this in which I don't fear other people's opinions anymore, in which I don't fear saying what I want to say anymore? And the best indicator for that is when all the drama goes away. Because, all this need to hype yourself up to say something, the high hopes that others approve of you, the fear of judgment, these are all drama. When the drama dissipates, you know for sure that you're authentic. You know for sure that you've cured yourself, and reality is so much better. Grass is so much greener.